Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trends Tech. And today we are talking about the Pixel Fold. This is my unboxing and my first impressions on the device. So, this is your basic, regular unboxing. There's nothing special about unboxings anymore, but you basically get some papers, a cord, and no charging brick inside of the box. For $1,800, we still cannot get a charging brick. But I digress. This is the Pixel Fold. Once again, the $1,800 Pixel Fold. Looking at the Pixel Fold, using it for the first time, having it in my hands, and not looking at another YouTube video, and these are my own opinions, it is a very nice phone. It is a very nice, very good looking, weighted phone. Like there's some weight to it. There's like this, it's got like the quality heft to it. So if you're like me, if you're like growing up, things that had weight to them felt like they were quality. They didn't feel cheap. Like this thing feels like, a piece of steel, even though it's made out of aluminum. And the presentation of it is really nice with the porcelain color. I like it. I'm not sure if I'm really too keen on the cover screen. A lot of people have been talking about this cover screen and how they want every foldable to have this cover screen, but having the shorter 5.8-inch cover screen feels a little weird to me, and I'm coming from the larger screen of the Pixel 7 Pro. Now, looking at the rest of the phone, it's a great phone. It's a nice color. I thought the color was going to be more like a goldish color, but it's more like a pale type of gold to it. But it's a really nice subtle touch to it. I actually like it a lot more than the obsidian color, and that was the original color that I was going to go with. But overall, the build quality when you hold it seems fine. The only thing about it is when you start to, open it up and look on the inner display, you see the bezels. If you are looking at this in person with your own eyes, the bezels do not look very large. The only time the bezels ever stuck out to me is when I used to see a comparison between the Pixel Fold and the Z Fold series. Otherwise, if you take this out the box and if you use this phone and let's say this is your first time using a foldable, you've never touched a Z Fold or any other foldable, this is perfectly fine. You're probably not going to have an issue with this. The other part about this phone that's really interesting is you do have the frosted black, the frosted back, and that is a nice touch. However, since this phone looks like jewelry, it gets fingerprints like jewelry. Now, generally, I don't care about fingerprints because I will put a case on my phone. But for those of you out there who are purists and you don't want to put a case on your phone, these fingerprints are going to stick out. You're going to see them. Have a microfiber cloth nearby to clean this thing on tap. After going through the setup, just walking around the phone and looking at the phone, there are a couple of things that stick out to me. The first thing that sticks out to me is that I like the inner display. It's a big display. If you take this display and put it next to other phones, it's almost two phones. You get a lot of screen real estate in a very small package, and that is a really good benefit. The other thing about the inner display is the simple fact that the crease is noticeable, but not noticeable at times. Like there are some times where your eyes will have a tendency to drift and you will see the crease and pretty much you'll just, be on it. But there are other times where the crease just doesn't matter. It disappears. It's either the UI or the angle or whatnot. However, it's a first gen, so the crease is kind of there, kind of like other first gens were. So take that with a grain of salt. It's not exactly the greatest experience. However, physically running your finger across the screen you probably won't notice it unless you are looking for it. Some of the other critiques that I have about the phone, which kind of leads into the price, I wish I could take this $1,800 phone and have a separate operating system on it. So on Samsung, you have Samsung Dex. I wish we had a Pixel Dex or Chrome OS or something out of this phone that we could take this phone and turn it into a Chromebook, extra PC, or something like that. That is a feature that has been with Samsung devices that at the $1,800 price point, I think is warranted. The other criticism that I have, and this is more so on the software experience side, because I honestly believe the phone has the capability, hardware wise, to do this, is Pro mode. I need this phone to do more than what a Pixel 7 Pro can do at $799 or $899. I would like to have more control over taking pictures, or at least have the option to do so. Now, the cameras on there are great. They are Pixel cameras. A lot of times you can take it and it's going to be perfectly fine, and that's great. But not having that Pro mode, not having some of the extra features that we see on other devices is a little disheartening for the price. Like I said, I like it. I just don't love it. I know there's people out there that absolutely love this device, absolutely love everything that there is about it. But for me, I just don't love it. Now, one of the other things that I've started to experience, sometimes the Pixel Fold is a little difficult to open. Now, yes, it does have a very strong hinge, and it does have a very satisfying opening and closing of the fold itself. But there are some times where I feel like I have to press a little bit too much into the phone to get it to open up. Maybe it has something to do with the polished sides. Maybe my fingers weren't all the way clean, but the hinge is strong. The hinge is great. You can pretty much open this at any other different position and you'll be good to go. The only drawbacks, and it's just a very minor one, is that the phone will open up to 180 degrees if you push it to 180 degrees. Now, yes, people have talked about it before where, they say it only opens so far, it only does this, it only does that. When I open it, it will open up to maybe 178 degrees, and then you just push it a little bit more, and then it opens up to 180. So me personally, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but I wish that in the next iteration, it opens up and it just pops to 180 and you're good to go. So let's go ahead and talk about the power button location on the phone. Now on the Pixel Fold, you have the power button at the top and you have the volume button below. As I am holding it in my hand, my thumb naturally will rest on where the power button is. Now, everybody has different size hands and stuff like this, but just hear me out. With my thumb naturally being where the power button is, I can easily unlock the phone by putting my thumb on that button. I can easily double click the button to open up the camera. I can easily lock my phone and my thumb's already there. I only need to use the volume button in certain times. Like I don't have to use it all of the time. So to me, it makes sense, at least on the Pixel Fold, where the button placement is. Just like if you use an S23 Ultra, it is a very tall phone. So with it being so tall and people's hands being more towards the bottom and it being a bigger display, it makes sense for reachability for the power button to be below and the volume buttons to be up top. So that's my logic with it. That's how I see it operating and making sense. In just, I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit weird about that. I hate to say this, I really do, because so many people love this front cover screen and so many people are happy for it. And so many people want other foldables to adopt this cover screen. For me, the cover screen is too wide and too short. And I know I'm going to catch some criticism for that, but that's just how I feel. Using this thing one-handed is a bit of a struggle for me. Maybe I don't have big enough hands, or maybe I'm just tired of using really, really wide phones or whatnot. But I kind of feel like in my situation, a Z Fold would actually be more beneficial. And I know that sounds hilarious because last year I was just like, I'm not keeping the Z Fold 4 because of yada, 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 whatever, whatever. But now that I have this Pixel Fold and I'm using it, I'm like, yeah, this kind of makes me want to use a Z Fold 4 or Z Fold 5. And it's also funny because it's kind of proving what I said before in a previous video about why the Pixel Fold is somewhat pushing me towards the Z Fold 5. But I still have to use the Z Fold 5 and use that cover screen to ultimately decide if I need a Z Fold cover screen or if I need a Pixel cover screen. To be really honest, even though it's a Pixel Fold, even though that it kind of just stands by itself a little bit from the Pixel 7 Pro and the Pixel 7, it kind of just feels like a Pixel that folds. On the surface, I really can't point out and say like, hey, here are all of these great things about the phone that are vastly better and vastly different and completely worth the money. If anything, I would say the price is more attributed to the hinge and the luxury, I would say gravitas of carrying around a foldable device in a market that doesn't have a lot of foldable devices. That's pretty much my first impressions of it, of everything I'm seeing, everything I'm looking at, what I'm feeling at so far. If you guys want any of the wallpapers that you've seen on here with like the different colors and whatnot, you can go to the description. There's a link there that will take you to Gumroad. I am selling wallpapers for $2.99, $2.99. So go ahead, pick one up. There's 9 in the pack. There's all different colors. You guys should enjoy it, and they should look nice on your Pixel Fold or your Samsung device or your iPad, MacBook, PC, whatever you want to put it on. It should look pretty good. So, all right, y'all. I'm gonna head out. This video has been way too long, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. All right, y'all. Take it easy. Peace.